Hello and welcome. Today we're going to be potting up some of these tomato plants from these single cells to these 3-inch pots. I wish these 3-inch pots were a little deeper, but it's a good start so far. These are the previous pots I was using. So what we're going to do is we've got our 6-pack. We're going to get a pot and just a single I put 2 in this one. I wonder if it felt so sturdy. A single pot. We're going to put just a little bit of this potting mix to cover the bottom, because these plants, we're going to try and plant them a little deeper than they were. Gently squeeze our cell, grab the stem gently, and pull out. You can see this has a nice root system, but it's starting to try and find new frontiers to gain nutrients from. So we're going to stick it in the pot. Get some of our potting soil, make sure it's standing up in the middle, and pot up around it. And then we can gently press down and fill in the pot with our potting mix. So we have our nice giant crimson tomato that's potted up. So what you can do is you can pot up basically for the whole plant, because if you see all these little hairs on the plant, those are sensing for moisture, and tomatoes can create adventitious roots all along their stem. And so this one just got potted up a little bit past its original depth, not too much, so just a little bit more. But if I wanted to, I could have potted it up all the way to here, or had a deep enough pot all the way up to these bottom leaves, and then it'll create a nice strong root system all the way through here. So it was just potted on a little bit. But then when you get your plants like this one, it's tall. When I take this plant outside and plant it, I will dig a pretty deep hole to put this plant in, or I will dig somewhat of a trench and lay it down at a slight angle and plant it like this, so that it has even more surface, and this is said to help create a stronger stem. But I'll plant it all the way up to these bottom leaves coming off, and this all will become it's part of its root system, and that'll really help strengthen this tomato to grow. So that's something you can do when you get them home, to plant them out with any of the tomatoes you buy. Now, we also have peppers. Just let me grab a flat peppers. So these peppers, you can see, also have an area of stem, but they don't root like the tomatoes do from their stem. So you can bury them up a little bit, but you don't want to do it too much, otherwise you can cause stem rot, and then your pepper plant will die. So don't plant your pepper plants up too much, it could cause stem rot. So we're just potting up some of these tomatoes. So we have one of these giant crimsons done. We had another giant crimson done. We've got a few other varieties to pot on. All of our Amana oranges will affectionately be called Arizonas, thanks to my lovely wife's labeling system, where she misread my handwriting. So instead of changing them, I'm just going to leave them as Arizonas. I might write on the back side what they are. So then this potting mix should help feed it a little bit, but I have this chicken plant starter. It's chicken litter that's been composted, and let's do a light sprinkling on the soil to help make sure that they are going to get enough nutrients, and then I will make sure that I water them or set them in water. You want to bottom water them so the roots go looking for water so that they can form a nice healthy root system. So we've got some more plants to do, so let's get to it. Now, tomatoes are a very fascinating fruit for me. They come in a wide variety of sizes and shapes and uses. We can a lot of our tomatoes, so we like to find some of those paste varieties to improve our canning and make sure that we have some diced tomatoes and some salsa for the winter. And look, I got that one in a little deeper. I laid the plant down on its side, so that's why it looks even shorter than its friends. But tomatoes come in a few forms. Things you want to look for are, there's different ways to classify them, I should say. You've got determinate tomatoes and indeterminate tomatoes as one way, and your determinates will grow pretty much to a preset height, and that's something like a Roma tomato, whereas your indeterminates will grow pretty much as you let them. Being a tropical plant, if you kept them in a tropical climate, they would grow to take over the world until the frost killed them. And if you didn't have a frost, then you would have a tomato monster. These Amana oranges are looking very nice. And then you have the use of the tomato, which you can kind of classify them along. You have paste tomatoes like I was talking about, such as an Opalka, an Amish paste tomato, Jersey Devils. I'm growing those 3 varieties for personal use. And then Roma tomatoes. So I like the paste tomatoes. I don't care for Romas exactly. They don't fit my growing style, which you guys will see later on this year if you didn't see it last year, where I tie them in and they go up a sisal strand to grow, and you'll see some of that in a few weeks. And then you have, so the uses, the paste tomatoes, then there are slicers, like many of your very nice round tomatoes, like my Wisconsin 55s or the Bonnie Bests. Nice round, look great on a BLT or a burger. There are also beefsteak types, which are those big fat tomatoes, weighing 1-2 pounds. I like to grow those as well, because it's always fun to see how big of a tomato you can grow. And then you've got your cherry grape tomatoes, great for salads and the like. Then there's also ways to classify them on leaf shape, but those are the classification systems that I find the easiest to think about. So in a few weeks, you'll be seeing me grow these outside. They'll actually probably go outside in the next 1 or 2 weeks based on what we have for time, but they'll be nice and happy out here in the hoop house, staying relatively warm, getting hardened off, and ready to go face the world. We'll see you guys next time. Hope you learned something. Have a great rest of your day.